right, I want to first thank everybody for being here and joining with me this morning. Many of the business owners, local families. I want to thank Bill Gaylor, President of the Limerick Chamber, for being here this morning, and other business people from the village of Limerick, and of course my friends and colleagues in the back. This is a difficult day actually last week occurred when Congress went out of session. And we know in the past, for many, many years, that Carolyn McCarthy really has not represented our district, and she's certainly not represented the best interests of the 4th Congressional District, as well as the families here in Limerick and throughout the Congressional District. In fact, in my opinion, she's consistently voted against the best interests of our Congressional District and the families, seniors, and business owners. We know that she voted in favor of Obamacare, which is going to be a disaster for our country, will change health care as we know it forever. She voted for cap and tax, or cap and trade as it's known as, but we call it cap and tax, which she admits will cost families more money. And she's voted for the failed stimulus package, and on and on and on. It's just her voting record proves that she's really out of touch with the families, the business owners here in the 4th Congressional District. Recently, Congress was deliberating on whether to continue the tax cuts, which were so important, in my opinion, to the future of our country. We're currently in a recession, and the last thing we need to do is to actually increase taxes on business owners and families in the United States, and in particular here in Nassau County in the 4th Congressional District. It's not the time. It seems that there may be some movement out of the recession. This, in my opinion, will stop it in its tracks. We don't need more money going to Washington. We just don't. We need the money here. We need it to spend. We need our families to be able to purchase the things that they need to purchase, of course, which helps the economy. We need business owners to try to hire new employees, and of course we know that right now our economy is almost totally paralyzed, which is to the detriment of job creation and expanding our economy and getting us out of this recession. It's just not happening. Carolyn McCarthy held in her hands the opportunity to help our district and to keep Congress in session and force the vote to continue the tax cuts. She held it in her hands and she let it go. She abandoned us once again. She abandoned business owners, seniors. She abandoned families in our Congressional District. She just let it go, and so she's totally out of touch. She had the opportunity to make a stand, and she didn't. The closing Congress was by one single vote, and it was Carolyn McCarthy's. And subsequently, they did not pass or even consider continuing the tax cuts. Let me just give you some statistics how painful this is in particular to New York families. We have higher incomes on Long Island because we have a higher cost of living. Somebody earning $100,000 perhaps in Tennessee is probably considered wealthy. Here on Long Island, that's just kind of getting you by. We have good school districts, we pay a lot of taxes for our schools, and our cost of living is significantly higher. So not having these tax cuts extended is worse for New York and our residents than it is likely for any other families and business owners across the country. It's going to be especially painful for us. Let me give you an example. A young person making $50,000, which people may think is a lot of money, but if they're coming in and out of the city and they own a rented apartment, that's not a lot of money. They currently would be paying $5,900. It's going to go up to $7,000. Another $1,000 in taxes for a young single person. How about the statistics for a family of 4, earning $50,000? We know a lot of families like that on Long Island. $50,000, husband and wife, 2 children. At $50,000, they're currently not paying any income tax. With the tax cuts expiring, $2,900. Where is that $2,900 going to come from for a family of 4 trying to make it here on Long Island? Where is that going to come from? How about a family of making $100,000, which is pretty much you're doing okay, you're getting by, and you're able to send your kids to school and have maybe some of the nicer things, but you're not a rich person is what I'm saying. The current tax liability is $5,000, goes up to $9,500. $9,500. $4,500 increase in your tax bill. And that's money coming off Long Island, going to Washington. What do you think of that, ladies and gentlemen? This is a disaster, an absolute disaster. The same thing holds for seniors. I heard a statistic, a family of seniors living on Long Island, if they're making $30,000 or $40,000, which we know they're just making it. Trying to stay in their home, they're going to pay another $1,200 in taxes. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a travesty, and once again, I can't say it enough that there was a time, I believe that maybe Carolyn McCarthy was in touch with the district. She's a nice lady. We all feel bad for what happened to her. But at the same time, she's totally out of touch with our district. If we wanted Nancy Pelosi to represent us, we'd all move to San Francisco, correct? But we don't. We want proper representation here in our communities. Person who feels and understands our pain. As many of you know, we know many families who are unemployed. I've never experienced in my lifetime so many people unemployed. We know of homes, we got some real estate people. We know of the short sales and the foreclosures that are happening. This is very, very difficult for Long Island at this particular point in time. And we're trying to come out of this recession. We're supporting each other. We live in a great, great community. Everybody's incredibly supportive of each other. We have, in Limerick right here, we have a community chest which our business owners support and help families that are distressed. But we don't need this. We don't need more of our money leaving Long Island to go to Washington to fall into a black hole and never come back and help us and our families in any way. So once again, I'm just going to close by simply saying that I wanted to hold this press conference today because, as once again, Carolyn McCarthy had the opportunity. She had it in her hand. I can tell you, if I was in Congress, I would have fought to the bitter end, and I would not have been the deciding vote to close Congress without action being taken on the tax cuts. So I'm running for Congress on November 2nd, and I'm asking you for your support and the families and business owners and seniors of the 4th Congressional District here in Nassau County, because I'll fight for us. I'll work hard. I will stop the spending. We'll get the tax cuts back in place with a new Congress, and we're going to have a new day, November 3rd, a new beginning for this country, when we're going to grow and we're going to regain the greatness that this country once had in the world, and not just here in America. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions. Do you have a question?
Yeah, just curious. With the tax cuts expiring, I mean, with the country facing a huge deficit, what is the alternative? Where is that money going to come from? What would you do to get the country back?
I would suggest to you that business owners and the stock market, they work on anticipation. They work on what's going to happen in the future. And right now, all they see is gridlock. They see our entire economy totally paralyzed. Business owners can't project for the future what they're going to do. I'll tell you just one story. A client of mine, he was going to open up a business in Florida. He's a Long Islander, but he was going to go into business and invest a significant amount of money in Florida. And he told me on the phone that they didn't know what his taxes were going to be. They didn't know what the cost of health care was going to be. They didn't know if the economy was going to pull out of a recession so that they could make a return on their investment. We're in a free enterprise system in this country, and it gives people the opportunity to dream, invest some money, and make their dreams come true, make their lives better, and the lives of their families better. He told me that he decided to pull out of the investment. A significant investment was going to start by hiring 20 new employees. This is happening throughout the country. Everybody's talking about the banks that want to lend. I know business owners who have capital already. In fact, it was said that there's $2 trillion in American corporations right now waiting to invest and to grow their business, but they don't know what the future holds. because we have an administration, and this has been said by Wall Street and others, an administration seems to be at war with new business. So you want to know what's going to happen? The best thing that people can do this November to change this country is vote Republican. Because if you have a Republican majority in the Senate and in the House, I guarantee you the next day the stock market's taking off. Because they know that Republicans understand what small business is all about. And they understand that we need an administration that's friendly towards business, not looking to regulate every dimension and aspect of their business. And we see that today. 2,000 plus pages in Obamacare, 2,000 such pages in financial regulatory bills, and we know that who's going to has the opportunity to read that? They want us to do something about immigration in Arizona, 10 pages. There's a great stark difference in the way Republicans see business and manage government as opposed to Democrats who just want to see it grow and expand. And if anything we've learned, $3 trillion in new deficit, new deficit spending. We've added $3 trillion to our current deficit since this administration has been in office. If we know anything about government, give them $1, they'll spend $5. We got to just stop the spending. We got to go back to doing what allows, our country does best: the free enterprise system, the entrepreneurial spirit that allows people to say, I have a dream, I have a vision for starting a business, to doing something for my family and for my country, and to grow jobs. It's as simple as that. Government has to get out of the way, and it's simple as that. Stop the regulations. Allow the free enterprise system to work. Allow people to dream and have a vision for the future. And stop, the 2,000 plus pages that we all know nobody even reads. Who could read 2,000 pages? I know I'm certainly that Carolyn McCarthy and others, members of the House. But once again, I go back to the point. Carolyn McCarthy had in her hand the one vote. The Congress closed by one vote. Carolyn McCarthy could have said no, and she didn't. She went along with Nancy Pelosi instead of going along with the representing and feeling the pain and doing what was right for the people in her district, right here in the 4th Congressional District in Nassau County. Long-winded answer, but you get the gist.